Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the exoneration letter drafted by District Attorney Mary Lacey. My name is Marcel Elvers, Master Profiler through Written Communication. Please like my channel, above all share and subscribe. And if you like a video, put it on your playlist. District Attorney Mary Lacey wrote an exoneration letter in 2008, just before her retirement. And she reportedly favored the Ramseys. She addressed Mr. Ramsey as Mr. John Ramsey. It's a little bit more personal, but of course quite acceptable. But there is no address, and this is official business. This may be to protect his privacy. She wrote in her exoneration letter there was significant new scientific evidence. And this is basically wording to stress the significance and strength of the evidence. She is referring to touch DNA, which came to light in 2006, 2007, I believe. And touch DNA is nothing else than we leave DNA behind on anything we touch. It is minimal but present. And so if you are sitting at a table in a restaurant and somebody got killed in that restaurant at that table an hour after you left, they will find your DNA. Touch DNA is not necessarily the DNA of the perpetrator. They use a scraping method on clothing to catch that minimal amount of DNA, which they then grow in a lab. Both Technology performed the test, and their report of March 24th, 2008 states that they excluded Burke, Patsy, John, Melinda, and the older son, John Andrew. The DNA did not belong to them. She also said in her letter that she finds the family not under any suspicion. Not being under suspicion is not saying you did not do it. I mean, if A suspects B and A no longer suspects B, does not mean that B did not do it. It's just they don't suspect you anymore. It also says there is no innocent explanation for the incriminating presence of the DNA. That's interesting because the exoneration letter was written in 2008, while her own former lead investigator, Mr. Kolar, wrote in 2006 that there is a plausible explanation of touch DNA and may have nothing to do with the death of JonBenét. So she was denying her own investigator. She also states in the exoneration letter that it cannot be determined only by DNA, but she says that your family was not responsible for this crime. That is a stronger statement. However, not responsible falls short of did not do it, because responsibility depends on culpability. Somebody with diminished capacity might have done it, but not be held responsible. So what if Patsy had a psychotic break and hit JonBenét and accidentally killed her? So it's 11 years later, and you may be comfortable with the profiling codes, but there are no hits yet. I'm not the only one that states that the exoneration letter was a farce. Former Adams County District Attorney Bob Grant said, "That just baffled my mind." Whereas Boulder District Attorney Garrett said, "I would not have done it because I do not think that is the role of the district attorney." Former Governor Bill Owens said, "I was stunned. I was appalled." And that makes sure that Mary Lacey has some explaining to do. This is, by the way, an excerpt from my book, JonBenét, The Final Chapter. Interestingly, in 2008, John Ramsey was interviewed by Oprah. And his reaction to the exoneration letter was priceless. John interpreted the letter as, quote unquote, a step in the right direction. And that reflects on his perspective. This isn't over. It will never be over. There is no finality in the case. And to me, there is a simple reason for that. he knows the intruder storyline is fabricated.